Yeah! Carbros USA, yeah!
This is Carbros Podcast, episode 90.
The big 90.
Somebody has
coming
to
at you live from 3 different locations.
Yeah, coming to you virtual.
I think
the first virtual test.
We mentioned that we were thinking about doing this a while back, right?
Uh-huh.
I think in our
a year ago, yeah.
Is this program new or what changed?
No, it's been around. Just we finally actually got off our ass and decided to do it.
It definitely makes it easier than when we did it remote a long time ago. But it's part of the soft reboot of Carbros. Mm-hmm. We kind of kicked around the idea of doing the podcast remote and probably slightly shorter, but more often. Because basically how we were doing it is Coin would drive 3 hours whenever we recorded a podcast. Mm-hmm. And now, the idea is that we'll just do this once a week or so.
Yeah. Whenever. Yeah. We could do it on a weekday instead of a weekend.
Yeah. We could, we just do it whenever we want. And, we'll hopefully instead of recording every couple months, we'll record every week or so. Yeah. And probably a little bit shorter, but kind of just keep up the cadence a little bit.
Yeah. And I think a really nice part is keeping up somewhat with industry news or
that's part of it. Yeah. And just kind of, giving, especially to the patrons that remain or just, even casual listeners, just to, I think once a week is a good number to shoot for.
Yeah.
And that will also free up our actual time in person together, to work on videos and the more meaty stuff. So we'll see how it goes, but I think there's potential in here. And Coin kind of talked about how the remote, obviously it's not the same, banter quality as being, next to each other, but I think the trade-off is probably worth it just to have something release, weekly or, close to weekly. So, we'll see how it goes, but this will be a good test.
Yeah. And I would say if this does work, the trade-off is even sweeter because it's not it doesn't shift the equation a little bit. This could be a pretty significant improvement. So
right. So
we'll 10% reduction in banter is worth weekly podcast potentially.
Sure. Yeah. And I think most listeners would agree that they would take that trade-off. Not that we're giving them a choice, but
I agree with that.
So we'll see how it goes. So I guess, I don't know, John, Jeep update, you have something?
Oh yeah. So Jeep update, still broken. Still don't have it.
Damn.
Who knows? The dealership does have the motor now, so however long it takes them to put it in. So maybe next week.
Did you drop this car off at the dealership? Do you remember the date?
I don't. I could probably look it up, but it was the end of May. I want to say the very end of May. So it's been almost.
It's definitely been over a month.
No, it's been 7 weeks. I would say. So it'll probably be 2 months by the time I get it back.
Coming up quickly. And you've already sourced its replacement, right?
Yeah, I did order a new Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. So that'll probably take 2 to 3 months for them to process my order and actually build it and then deliver it to my house. So pretty much once I get the SRT back, I'm just gonna start shopping it around to trade it in. So
if anyone's interested,
get rid of that piece of shit.
Yeah. If anyone wants a Jeep SRT with a fresh motor.
Yeah, fresh motor.
Yeah, I don't know. That car's never had another issue, right? Dumb stuff. It's actually not a bad used car to buy because it literally has a brand new motor from Dodge in it.
And not a brand new motor from abuse.
Yeah. Hopefully it's one of the redesigned motors that actually doesn't have this issue, but who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Those things are. It's going to be interesting just to see how that whole group of Dodge stuff ages. This kind of recent era, the end of the Hemi, basically.
Especially when you consider the kind of people that are apt to buy them and drive them.
Yeah, they're going fast, man.
Yeah,
they did officially kill off the Hellcat motor, right? There's no new vehicles that come with that motor. I don't think.
You can still get a Hellcat. Charger and Challenger. I don't know for how much longer.
Okay. Maybe just Jeep did, I guess? Jeep?
That could be. Yeah. That could be.
Yeah.
They stopped making the manual transmission Challengers, but they were like... the Hellcat ones, but they were like as temporary. Like they kind of indicated it was going to come back. Yeah. I think you still can't buy one though. It's weird. So I don't know if they're just done actually, or like if they're, actually going to be shipped back. But anyways.
I mean, their days are definitely numbered, right? I mean, they have to eventually move away from that V8 and go to like a twin turbo V6 or something stupid.
I think I want one.
Damn.
Like
running out of garage space.
No, I mean, instead of the M5, I've always thought that was like kind of a good M5 replacement. It's like a lot of the qualities I like about it, but like American and simpler.
Was that on the cast that we talked about that about you like falling out of love with the M5 and potentially selling it for something like new? Or
I would not say I've fallen out of love with it. I would say the C5 Z06 is way more fun to drive.
You're having an affair.
Yeah, like I still everything.
You still love your wife.
The M5 did not change. That did not change at all.
Just a new secretary, isn't it?
A new, the Corvette came in so high that I was shocked that it could even go that high, because I thought I loved the M5, and the combination of those cars is really nice, because you like the Z is pretty like ratty, not in quality, but just like it's kind of a go-kart, and so like you
two-seater,
like I drove it to get the exhaust worked on, and I went like 60 miles an hour down a country road. I was like, this is not like a go for a cruise car, even though this is kind of like, it's just very high kind of sprung, like the motor is kind of on edge, and like the car's on
active.
Edge. Yeah, where the M5, like even though it has some of those qualities, it's still like you just want to get on the highway and just like cruise. Like that thing will like pull decently in sixth gear. It has so much low end torque. It's like ultimate highway cruiser.
Yeah, I think that's.
Anyways, I think we did talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, not that we've talked about the C5 enough, but I was driving mine the other day. Actually, I drove it to my brother's house because we're actually in the process of replacing the busted power steering line, and I think we're going to replace the whole motor and pulley. Like it's becoming a little bit more of a job than.
You should do the rack too. I think that rack's fucked.
You think? Yeah, I'll look.
When the boots on it, when they get moisture in them, that only comes from it leaking. Like that is basically the steering rack seals are leaking, and so it's never going to get better from there. Right. Like as soon as they start leaking, it's like this thing is on its way out. It's not like it went away. Like that is the rack telling you it's like wearing out.
Yeah, I guess maybe when we have everything else apart, I might as well.
Yeah, because I think it's not like I think it's not an ultra easy job, but if you're in there,
what we've done already has not been ultra easy. So it's just
if you're in there, you might want to look into it. I don't know anything about them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that'd be one of those things, like especially brand new steering rack. Like it's gonna be nice. You'll
notice it. Yeah, it's not like a timing belt or something.
Yeah.
I got more like a timing belt.
I can really feel the difference. Pulls a lot harder.
It came out of there.
I might have to look into that while the car is down.
It's like its guts puked out.
But what I was going to say is when I was driving it over there, like I forgot like how good of mileage C5s get when you're just like cruising.
Crazy.
Like they'll
specifically
touch
the 6-speed.
Yeah.
What is good
like
mileage?
Like close to 30, like on the highway.
That actually is really good.
Yeah, dude.
And they don't even have the cylinder cut, right? No.
Okay. It's just like gearing and aero. And that's about it.
Yeah, that motor is so good. It's like you can lug the shit out of it and it just runs. Yeah. And so it's geared specifically the 6 speeds, And I don't know what it is, but I think the Z06 gets even better mileage because when I was on that country road, it was showing 32. I think it might be how the 6th is geared because I think it's a little bit different or something. Like I don't know what it is, but it's like this is like the Camry's mileage.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure like almost any C5 stick like at a constant like 60 to 65 is like pushing 30 or above like pretty easily.
Dang,
crazy.
Yeah,
road trip vehicle.
So crazy. It really is.
I mean, it's not the most. I mean, you're sitting like a couple inches off the road and stuff, but
just
as
blast
far as
to Palm Springs.
Yeah,
as
you
far
just
as
blast,
mileage, damn. C5.
Damn, I know.
Yeah.
I just like every podcast.
The perfect
all I want
car.
to talk about is C5. But alas, after 5.
Alas, there are other cars.
I know.
Cars. Other cars are worth talking about.
But I mean, part of the reason why we wanted to, with this remote thing, we felt like, we can better like keep up with auto, and not that we're like an auto industry or like car review podcast.
Yeah, but there's some like nuggets to be had in there.
Yeah, there are notable stuff, and it is kind of weird if we like talk about something that came out like months ago. So hopefully we'll stay on top of that stuff a little bit better. And I guess the past
we did have that one episode where like me and Garrett recorded it. Remember like when the Super was revealed?
Super.
We like
that's right.
Launched it like as the whatever I can't think of the word.
Oh, the like embargo
Premiere or whatever.
Embargo, yeah.
That's right.
We were part of breaking news back then. Yeah.
Breaking.
Car Bros is there.
See, we were there. We were getting the scoop.
You get everything you need from Car Bros, basically.
Exactly. One-stop shop.
Yeah, you don't need anything else from us. We want to be your entire car hobby.
Just everything else, just shut it down.
Yeah, just don't even bother.
No, but in the past week, there were like a couple like fairly big debuts, and obviously the biggest was the new Civic Type R.
Mm-hmm. Civic Type R. I couldn't think of a joke to make when you said obviously the biggest in town.
I mean the biggest of the past week.
Obviously, the biggest is that Daewoo is coming back with.
Well, the biggest is that they actually added heated seats standard to the Hyundai Santa Fe.
Damn.
And they have new LED headlights as well.
Mm-hmm. They look sharp. Like, let's not beat around the bush.
I mean, go down to your local dealer and check them out today. Yeah,
my jaw was dropped. But no, 2023 Civic Type R, and I guess it seems like they basically kind of like answered everyone's wish that was like, the Civic Type R is like too busy looking.
Yeah. Too youthful. Too immature.
They just toned it down a lot.
Kind of toned down now that I think it preserves the appeal of the old one. Like that will be a worse car. Yeah, and like you'll get a lot of people who are like, I prefer the old one. Like old one's better. Yeah. Every time anything comes out, old one's better.
It's more raw.
I just prefer the more raw model. It's the last of the raw.
I just like the vents.
Right.
Yeah. Like
that don't do anything.
Yeah, but really with the debut, all they really did was just show how it looks. Kind of like they said, like it's going to be more powerful. But
but they're not giving actual power figures.
I think the engine's going to be like almost identical. Like it'll probably have like 5-10 more horsepower.
You think?
Like you would think.
It's the same. It's the same engine. I don't think they like worked some miracles to pull another like 40 horsepower out of it. But
yeah, I think it's just not done. I mean, I'm sure it's partly.
Well, I mean, they said it will be like the most powerful, which all that really means it's going to have more power than the.
It will have at least one more.
Yeah, it'll have like 307 horsepower.
I just mean that like the fact that they didn't announce it now, like once they do, people are going to be disappointed. Like people,
I think a lot of that stuff just has to wait to be like finalized with like whatever EPA and like
probably.
I think it could be partly that. I think it could be like, that a car like that is tuned to where literally they're just like choosing the final number to tell the computer to open the wastegate. It's like
the final map.
Basically, they're just like, do we want this to have 310 or 315? It's not like if this engine was NA, it'd be like, that's the power.
Yeah, we've managed.
It's like we picked it and it's done. Whereas now you actually do have room to be like, you know what? If this thing has 335 horsepower, it's like way faster than a Golf R.
Right.
Or something. Like you can kind of slot it a little different. So I feel like that could be partly what they're doing too. They want to wait until maybe
it does have wider tire. I think the biggest thing I would say is they lowered the wheel size. I think is 19 now.
Yeah, it's like a more appropriate wheel size.
And I think it's 265 versus 245.
Dang.
So that's probably one of like the biggest reasons why it's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that like the body style is way different than the original hatch, right? Like even though it looks really similar, it has like wide flares and stuff like that.
I mean, the old one was wider too, but it looked more like kind of obvious that it was.
Yeah, it was like a bulge rather than this is like
glued or
right.
or something.
Yeah, so now this is it's wider, but it's a little more subtle looking.
I mean, the big question is the body in white different? Do they pull a Civic off the line and like do things to it?
Yeah.
Where I don't think they did with the old Civic. I think they literally just bolted stuff onto it and tuned the suspension.
Yeah, like the front fenders were different, and that's about it.
The fenders come on and off, but this right. If they
and the back was just a like little flare thing.
Because that's what they did to the Integra Type R. It's like that chassis is different. It's not crazy, but they did weld additional shit into it.
Right.
And like spot welded additional things. It's kind of small, but it's like, yeah. Senna welded them himself.
He went down to the factory. He's like, I'm going to make a stiffest.
They made him learn how to drive by starting at the assembly line.
The opening scene of Flashdance is actually based off of Senna welding the Integra Type R.
Yeah, this is marketing. Anyways, that's just like that car was already pretty maxed out. The fact that the outgoing Type R did what it did is like still kind of a miracle. It's like that front end was crazy. It was so good, but they were definitely limited by like the car, the chassis basically. And so with this one, like if they can just make the chassis stiffer, then you can add additional grip because the chassis doesn't flex before the tires like give out or whatever. And so there was like more room if they. Yeah, like this one could be pretty significant if it all comes down to if that body on white or if that like chassis is different. Because if they had access to that, although even the outgoing one, I feel like I remember them saying it had like additional adhesive or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Either way, I think it looks amazing. Like,
I love the new look. Yeah.
But yeah, the one thing they did not announce, at least for the US, is pricing. So that's kind of
that's right. Yeah. That's kind of irrelevant, like because of the whole markup and
I think in Japan, I think they said it's going to be like 5 million yen or like whatever. And then people are like, released it. I think they did, which makes it look really cheap in the US because the exchange rate is so off right now. So I don't really think that hold much because I think it was like, that's like 36 grand US. But I don't think that there's no way it's going to be that cheap. Realistically, I think it's probably going to be like 40. I would say that would be my guess.
That seems cheap.
Or maybe like 41, 42. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the regular Civic Touring is 31, 32. I mean, I think this is going to be like 45.
It could. Although, like I said, ultimately, it doesn't really matter.
I really want to see a Honda price this thing at like 65.
just go for it.
Just fucking charge what they're gonna fucking charge. Like I would so much rather overpay to Honda.
Yeah.
And like here, like thank you for making this thing. Like the money goes to them. Then they fucking lube up these dealers' dicks with like they're just everything's gonna be marked up. It's like this is not.
Yeah, it's weird. It like the whole like rollout of that car has been kind of like bittersweet for me.
Yeah, there's never been a more impressive car in some ways, and there's never been a worse situation to launch it into.
It's like here's the prototype. Like it's the fastest ever. Like here it is. It looks cool.
It's amazing.
I've been like following it, but like only kind of half-assed because I'm like in my mind I'm just like this is a $60,000 car. Whenever like Valley Honda gets a hold of it, and so I don't know. Like, I guess some people. I mean, it's normal to be excited about it, but I don't know. It doesn't really translate to any kind of like real world excitement for me.
Yeah, you're only setting yourself up for like disappointment if you think that this thing is, unless you're just willing to pay like, you know, way more than it's worth.
Yeah,
but that's kind of.
Although someone else, it's worth whatever somebody will pay for it.
Yeah, that's kind of a distorted like definition of value.
Yeah, it makes sense for like a used car where everyone is different than the other. Like, you know, this one is maintained, this one has that many miles.
It is worth what someone is willing to pay, but not all people are willing to like that. That makes sense from the seller's point of view. It's like, I don't give a shit who buys it.
Right.
It's like, yeah, the people willing to pay that amount are like being fueled by like, you know, kind of weird group of people. Anyways, still an impressive car. That's not their fault.
Right.
Definitely. You know, it's amazing. It's so good. It's annoying.
Yeah. Part of me was like the one like little like glimmer of hope that I had was like a few automakers have been kind of going with that like reserve yours now kind of thing. Like even if they're not, like Ford has been doing it. And I think Acura did it with the Integra, like when they first, you know, it was like reserve yours for $100. But I just don't think they're going to make enough to even like try to do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
I was thinking the other day, like this and like the C8 Z06, which also just came out, like the pricing of it recently. It was like 100 and something, 106, I think, for the base. I was thinking, what if they just sold like every one of them on Bring a Trailer? like what if the only source to buy these things is just like a live auction?
That'll probably happen at some point.
Doesn't that seem like kind of a better model to do it? Because it's just like, if you want to be first here, you know, blow $500,000 or like be first.
And then they just like put like 10 on there a week or something, and then each week
there's just kind of a flow of it, but you pay however desperate you are to pay it right then. I don't know, because I just like it's becoming common for people to be pissed off at dealers. It's not like in the corner of car culture. People hate dealers.
It's like across the board.
Everybody hates this situation.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, normally, like, I understand, like, okay, you know, your supply of cars is cut off. Like, fine, you're going to sell them for more. But it's like, they just bring negative to the deal. Like, the dealer only fucking harms it, basically.
They provide no service, basically.
Yeah. It's like they after you buy the car, they service it and work on it and maintain it.
Yeah.
But that's almost like a totally separate part of the business.
Yeah.
It's just like we worked very hard to be allocated this car, and now we will be handsomely rewarded.
Yeah, it's just annoying that, you know, they're making more money now than they did before this situation. Like, even though the situation, like the supply is way down and everything's shitty, it's like they're loving it.
Well, because they laid off like 90% of their staff.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're like making rent, you know, the like profit the business makes is up, but that just means like 2 people are getting it.
Right. It's all the managers. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the middle management. That's just,
And the funny thing that we were talking about is even it's like within these middlemen, like the sales people themselves are like middlemen within the middleman.
Yeah, because, they're like completely useless. Like they have no power at all. Like they have no decision making power.
Maybe this is another topic we'll get into another time because but I was like talking to some. Oh well, all right. Like, should we just get into it?
Yeah.
Right, so I watch some car videos like online here and there. Like I watch most of the stuff that Savage Geese puts out and a few others. And the Hyundai Elantra N is like a car that like everyone who's like driven one is like, holy shit, this thing is good.
Yeah, like it's like surprisingly good. Yeah,
and it's like it's cool like on paper, but then like it has that I haven't driven one, but it has the thing like everyone like, oh, this car goes like beyond its number, you know, like this car's like really, really, really fun.
Special something.
Yeah. Supposedly. And like, I was looking, I was like, you know, I'm supposed to get this GR Corolla sometime whenever it arrives. And I was like, if I could find one of these Hyundais at sticker price, and, you know, almost do almost like a long-term like review on it, you know, buy it. And hopefully, you know, if I get that Corolla, get most of my money back. So like the idea like crossed my mind for a few days, but like after looking, it's almost just another thing where like, if you want one, you got to fucking play the games. And I just don't think I have it in me to do that for a car that I'm not going to, for a car that I'm probably not going to own that long.
Right.
But anyway, so like in the process of like inquiring about like a couple of these, it's like our asking price, like the sticker is like 33, 34 grand on one of those.
And this is like, just so people know, because there's like, I would not know. I was not looking at this thing. So
most people aren't, but
I don't even know what I don't even know what an Elantra was, honestly.
It's a Hyundai, okay.
I mean, I know it's a Hyundai, but I was like, I think it's a sedan. Yeah, so it's like their Civic competitor, right?
I think it's an Accord, right?
No, it's Civic. Sonata is like the Accord.
It's just like a big Civic, and the Civic's already pretty big. Well, the thing I didn't realize is it weighs 3,100 pounds. That was like on the scales. Yeah, that is very light. That might be lighter than a Civic Type R. Honestly,
or at least
that'd be close.
Yeah, like it's definitely
it's like pounds away.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it sounds kind of cliche, but it's like they went for it on this car. It's supposed to be like really good.
You know what? Like Hyundai hired a lot of German dudes, a lot of like high-end
beermen or whatever,
like BMW and Audi designers and stuff. And so, like they did go for it, but it's more than. It's like they were smart about who they hired.
Well, actually, that kind of brings up, I guess, another new car that I forgot to talk about, that I forgot to add to the list is Hyundai showed this like, I forget what it's called, like the N74 or something, like a couple weeks ago.
Was it Hyundai or Kia? I thought it was Kia.
It was Hyundai, but they are the same. They are the same.
Right,
thing.
right.
It's like Buick and Chevy or whatever.
Yeah, they showed their concept car.
This like, I guess it's hydrogen. Anyway, it's like the powertrain doesn't really matter, but it's like this very like 80s like A86 240SX looking like concept,
like kind of DeLorean even.
Thing. Yeah. And it was actually kind of interesting that I think it was on Savage Geese on their like latest like, sometimes they like do like a live stream where they just like bullshit about cars for a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
And I was listening to it, and one of the things which is actually a good point that they brought up about Hyundai is like that brand doesn't really have any history. Like, they've been making cars for, I don't know, 40 years, but like no one really cares about anything up until the last 10,
like
15.
You could be like, they started in 2009.
Right. Oh. Yeah. So it's like, you know, while, you know, Chevy or Ford or even, you know, Toyota and Honda will like kind of, you know, look back on their heritage for stuff.
Yeah. When like,
this is like this is like the same color as the 65 GT350 or whatever. It's like Hyundai doesn't have that. So like they can just kind of like pull from whatever they want. So they just made this car.
Copy like all the like best trends.
Right. So they just like, what's cool? Like the 80s are cool. Like we didn't like, we were a total joke in the 80s, but like here's like our like,
we don't care.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
You like it.
Yeah. Like this is popular. Like we weren't there, but we can like pretend like we were.
This is popular, right? Bitch?
Yeah.
We studied your culture.
I guess, I mean, we could add some pictures of that thing, but I'm guessing everyone saw it.
I wasn't really looking at it.
Yeah, but it's just kind of an interesting point about Hyundai is like they're like, in a way it's good almost because they have like a blank, they're not really like beholden to anything.
Yeah,
even though they're just gonna end up like they just hire the best designers, and even their whatever, like their electric SUV thing kind of looks like it's like a very like 80s shape.
Yeah,
you know, like it almost looks kind of like a big like Mark 1 Golf or like a Lancia or something.
Yeah, like a Sirocco or something.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like no one actually recognizes it as an old Hyundai. It's just like this was cool back then. Like this is hot. But I mean, it's smart.
Look.
Yeah, like why not just pull from the past, even if it's not your past?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like good product management. You know, like they're
yeah, and
working.
I mean the car is like
that's
I mean like I don't even think it's like a real. I think they built like a mock-up of it. Like most of like the images they show are like clearly these like CG. It's like drifting.
Yeah, just all renderings.
Yeah. But it made a big deal. Like I saw all these people post like, "Good job, Hyundai!" Like, dude, like Hyundai is killing it. It's like
I can't wait to buy this. Yeah,
yeah. It's like I mean, this is like I understand it looks cool, but like this is like a very like fantasy. Like it's like a hydrogen race car. Like, okay.
Yeah. It's basically like a GT Vision car where it's like,
exactly.
That's all it's going to be. Yeah. It's just like they might put it in Gran Turismo and that's as far as it's going to go.
Yeah. But I mean, but like say it works. If you're like, damn, like Hyundai is like, I like 240 SXs. Like this looks like a 240 SX.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet a lot of that was manufactured.
Oh, I'm sure.
That sounds a lot like, and then we paid to have the social media reaction. Why wouldn't that be part of it? Like
we got some influencers.
That's where we draw the line. Once the product's out there, we stop doing whatever it takes to win.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like that. It's like China, like Chinese cars are like a joke basically because they just like steal and like just undercut everyone. But like Hyundai, like they're trying, like they're like doing like a very like a very like elevated like an elevated, more restrained,
like a highbrow theft, like an Ocean's 11, you know, kind of theft,
which is like, you know, there's an art to that. It's a good car, the Elantra N, or it's like those reviews aren't.
Yeah. So anyway, but it ended up. I don't think it's just going to be worth it's not going to be worth the hassle to like get a car short term like that.
I was going to say, I like to imagine like the Hyundai salesman, like all giddy because they actually have a car that people like desire and like they can actually mark up and.
Well, apparently they're doing it. Apparently they're doing that with those like EVs and even I guess the Telluride or whatever.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
But anyways, like,
Hyundai's been hot for a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what we were originally talking about. It's like, but like you talk to these guys and they're like, we're like taking our best offer. And I'm like, I'd only want to spend MSRP. And they're like, my manager said we can't do that. It's like, what the fuck is your job?
Yeah. Yeah. It was the same thing when we were shopping around for a Civic. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, well, I don't understand. Like especially now when you used to be like, you would go onto a lot and there would be like 150 cars and the salesman would like take you for a drive and they would be like they're like your liaison kind of.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, no, I'm going to try to get the deal for you. But like now, like what are they bringing to the table?
I'm going to walk your offer from my desk over to the sales manager.
So like they don't have any juice. Like I don't get it. So my manager said we could. Yeah, like, I took that. My manager said no. It's not my policy. It's my manager's.
Yeah.
They're trying to not play the bad guy, and it's like no, you just come off as weak and pathetic.
My managers, they just said no.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
They will not sell this car at the price that Hyundai put on the side of it. They just can't do it.
You should just be like, well, why don't you just get rid of your commission and then then I can get it for MSRP. Yeah.
When I bought the Vet, I wanted to pay I think I told him 28. It was listed for 33. He was like, "So we already turned down an offer for 30." I was like, I just don't know if that's true. Like I remember,
I doubt it. I don't trust a single freaking word from.
Yeah, I was like, I just don't think you would have said no. But yeah, anyways, I paid 31, but I remember him saying that and being like, you guys probably paid like 24 for this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess middlemen within middlemen.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Fantastic. And I guess, along with the Type R, Chevy showed this like blaze. I didn't even know they were working. I guess I should have, but like shows how little I care about GM.
Yeah.
Outside of the Corvette, of course.
Yeah, specifically.
I'm a big fan.
That's the specific part of its history.
Yeah, like the Blazer EV, and like it's just, I don't know, like just like that type of car has become like the de facto Like we have a electric.
You know what's funny about that car is like you talked about it. First of all, they announced it. Then you talked about it, and I still don't know anything about it. It's just like I didn't even know. It's like you can, if it's an EV, especially from a manufacturer like Chevy, you can literally look at a screenshot of it and like know what the car is.
You know what it is. That's the thing about EVs. Like there's no surprises.
Like,
there's no like,
I don't need to
this one has like
this
stick shift.
New. Yeah.
So
this one's
I don't know. I mean, like
this size screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's $45,000 to like start for like a front wheel drive SUV. I don't know. Like it's just I feel like that is like that's just like the de facto car, and like I don't know. It's kind of lame.
I think it is, but I think it will get better. I think this stuff, like
they're going for like the bread and butter product to start.
I think they just don't know what to do yet. Like it'll just take a few generations where people are like, "Oh, this is actually like a cool thing to have." You know, like they'll start, but right now it's like they just can't even like they can barely make money on these things. Like honestly, like EVs just
they're kind of getting like forced to make them.
Yeah, like it's just still like people want to act like the EV revolution is here, and it's like we are still kind of like a little too early because batteries are just expensive as shit, and like it's getting better, but an EV only makes sense when it's like, oh, dude, the battery is like. It's a significant portion of the cost, but it's not crazy,
right?
Yeah. Instead of like, okay, the car's kind of free.
Yeah, and I guess I just saw like someone. There's this thing. It's pretty. I forget what channel it was, but like they did like a towing test of the Lightning. Like
F-150 Lightning,
and I think like with a load, like an average like camper trailer, like it would go about like 110 miles or something.
Yeah, that was Savage Geese's video. Yeah, they were saying like, they were saying I think it's max towing is like 8,000 pounds, and they said like if you were towing 8,000 pounds, like your range is about 100 miles, which is kind of ridiculous.
Like, and like in a way, like it makes sense. Like you're towing 8,000 pounds. Like, obviously that's going to use a lot of like energy.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense
to move that. But the thing is like, and yes, there's not that many people towing 8,000 pounds like day to day, but like part of the reason
long distances,
like but part of the reason that most people or a lot of people buy a vehicle like that is like so they have the ability to do so, even if it's rare. But like it kind of just there's not really like there's no alternative. Like what are you going to do? Just like not tow your race car to the track, and you're not going to like
I think he said camping? He said it. They said it made sense for like, you know, like a commercial like contractor that like has to tow shit like around town, you know, but like anytime, someone has to go on the highway and tow something, you know, from
but it's like
LA
a pretty big part of like the American like hobby, you know, whatever leisure world is like you tow your trailer, you know, you go to Yosemite or you go, you know, to wherever the desert, you know, you drive a couple hundred miles, and I don't know, and I just don't really, even if there's a bunch of charging, like. Imagine only being able to drive 100 miles on like a road trip. Yeah. Time to pull in and like I don't really see what breakthrough there could be to like ever make that.
I was going to say they were even saying that like even if you were towing anything like and you know you tried to stop along the highway at a charging station, like how do you even park a truck and trailer? Like those charging stations aren't designed for that. They're designed for like single vehicles that back into a single spot.
You got like a 50-foot like setup.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there is room, and I could see them doing this for making a diesel or gas like plug-in hybrid.
Yeah,
basically, like the Lightning will continue to exist.
It's like a big generator.
Yeah, something where it does do because, like, I kind of feel like we sort of said this like an episode or two ago, where plug-in hybrids are kind of like where we're actually supposed to be right now.
Yeah,
we're not really ready for EVs, like, but they work, and so I could see that making sense. Like, you want an electric F-150, here it is. Yeah, but if you want like the actual kind of best model. That has, you know, the low end torque of an electric car and the towing ability of something bigger. like here that is, because I don't think that one will really get fixed.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just like pure physics. Like there's not really a way
exactly
like around
like that
like,
stuff will
no,
get percentages bigger year over year.
And like even if they got to the point, just theoretically, which they're not anywhere close, where you could like charge on electric as if it was a gas. Like they're as common as gas stations and as quick as gas stations. Still, like who wants to stop every 100 miles?
Yeah.
Well, time to juice up again.
Yeah, Tesla has the Semi, and the only reason that works out is because you like
it's like a controlled
you just put enough batteries in it, and it'll go 600 mile. Like you just can't really do that at the economics of an F-150.
Yeah,
but at the Semi level you can, and so there it makes sense too, because then maintenance costs and gas costs go way down. So for like pure fleet purposes, electric works again.
Plus those probably also use a more controlled like route. Like you're like this is going to Denver and it's going back and it's going here. Like ideally, that would all be planned out.
Yeah, I think just like it's gonna be a while before you can get a truck that can do that. That's electric. I think it just costs way too much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe $100,000 or something, and it has like 1,000 miles of non-towing range. Like you just need a bigger battery. There's like,
I guess really like the whether it's the Lightning or the Rivian, it's like they're very good like suburban trucks. Which, to be fair, that's a lot of what people buy. Like a nice pickup is just to like cruise around,
right?
But no one's going to be like treating that like a workhorse, really. I don't think.
I don't know. Yeah, it really is just towing though. Like truly, if you just like. You're a farmer and you check on like 10 farms a day and you just drive a shitload, but you're never really, like straight work truck. I think it still could serve a lot of people, and they're they can't make that many of them, so they almost like don't want it to be for everyone. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Are you kind of saying like you don't think it'll ever work? Like
I don't know. I'm very skeptical of it.
Yeah,
like it's one. I think the whole thing is like I've owned, like I said, I think we've talked about this before. Like I've owned several electric cars, and they're great within their they're awesome within their
strict
ideal. Like you drive 20 miles and back to work every day. Like it's perfect. But like the idea that we need this like
it's your only vehicle.
That we're throwing fossil fuel away, and like it's like. I don't fucking think so. Like that, to take away the like freedom that like cars represent, I think is a pretty big thing.
When you leased your Fiat 500, didn't they offer you like 3 rental cars a year to actually take road trips or something? Wasn't that part of the deal?
Yeah. I forget what it was.
I remember you saying that. You were like, "Oh, I'm going on a something like that."
We actually used a couple of them, but again, like they're talking about a world where that doesn't even exist. Like the ambitious politicians or whatever, they're talking about like, we're not even going to make gas cars, and like, okay, so like they want it where like electric is your only choice.
Yeah,
or at least that's what they preach about it, but I don't think it's gonna
be. Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I just think that is probably about 40 years away.
Right.
It's like pretty far up there. They make sense. We're just not ready yet. Like, if you force it, there's not like you can't force it. We can't mine this stuff fast enough. Like we can't, it's like, it's not, no one needs convincing. We just don't, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm kind of just like watching that unfold. Because nobody really knows too. Like this is one of those topics where if you act really authoritative, like you're kind of exposing the like.
And I guess, and the other thing I guess that I don't like about it is like it really feels like you're kind of kneecapping like your own people in a way. It's like all the work that we've put into making gas engines like so good. Like even if you just compare it to 15 years ago, like like a Camry hybrid gets like whatever 60 miles to the gallon. Like they burn so clean and they're so efficient. And just be like, no, like we're going all lithium, like lithium only. Like it feels like
pretty crazy.
Very kind of disingenuous. Like
there's so much development that basically like a lot of it carries over, but a lot of it just does not.
Yeah.
And we took it so far. I mean, it's not going anywhere, but at the scale that it is at, Yeah.
When you just see like what the average, like even what the average like cheap gasoline car can do.
Yeah. I was reading about the LS engine today, and
V8?
apparently the
one you see,
the LS series Chevy V8.
Oh no, sorry, I thought you were talking about Lexus LS. So, yeah.
No, LS.
The
LS
GM
motor
the Gen 3. Yeah,
the Gen 3 small block, and so the Gen 1 and 2 small block, which are like very similar. One went from like 55 to like 93. And then they like updated it a bit. They have sold 100 million of those
across all vehicles.
Just they've produced 100 million small block, and that's not the LS. I don't think. That's
Well, it was funny because we were working on my vet earlier today, and the like power steering tensioner or power steering pulley like broke. Trying to get just a little like cheapo thing, but like could we like go pull one off the truck or like one of the many other like Gen 3 V8s that are around here.
It's crazy.
It's just such a ubiquitous thing.
But you just won't really get that anymore. The only reason we got it is because it was going to go in every passenger vehicle they made. Yeah. And so they were able to do some kind of like crazy things with the design. Certain things make sense when you're going to sell millions and millions of them. And so you can invest in like a pretty crazy technology, but then sort of pay for it by just making a shitload of them. And that won't happen anymore. Not with a V8. Like you're not going to get like, the Coyote and like,
the gas electric thing. It just feels like you have like whatever, a baseball team or football team, and you've like trained these guys to be like the best in the fucking world. And you're like, okay, we're changing the rules of the game, like because we have to. Like,
they're fired.
We're no longer gonna like touchdowns are not part of the game anymore.
Like, we're like getting up there in time. Are these actually going to be shorter? Or like
it doesn't matter. We can hold off some of the other stuff till the next one.
Okay, let's
do the end.
And finally,
So anyway, so we have more to. We'll probably be back again, hopefully next week with more banter. But anyway, so last thing that I've noticed, like, we talk a lot of shit on TikTok as being like the worst.
A lot of social media, though, and for good reason. Like it's legitimately a scary new technology. Like, TikTok is not great.
Yeah, like none of us use it.
Or even have an account.
Like it kind of like takes everything that's bad, like all the guilty stuff about social media, and just kind of like amplifies it by 100.
It's like the demon of burned social media rising from the ashes.
It's like, do you just want?
It's crazy successful. It's like which sucks.
But anyway, it's like
even more scary.
Yes, but anyways, like, so I don't use TikTok. None of us do, but like you can see like the other social media platforms kind of like trying to bring in some of this stuff. So like even like Facebook and Instagram, which same company, but it's like they bring in this thing where they just like show like video clips, like usually vertical format, like short video clips, like they just kind of like pop up. Sometimes they're small, but they still like start auto playing. And it's like, come on, like we'll like keep you hooked up to a feed of these things.
Come on in.
It's like a fucking.
We've got TikTok.
It's like
you want to do some TikTok?
Do you want to see some like 15-second video clips? Like we got you. But so they just start playing, and I guess obviously because I'm into like car stuff, like most of the ones that pop up for me are car related, and a lot of them is like kind of like either like sideshow or just like somebody leaving a thing or so, and they're all like burnout, like exhibition of speed, like very like most of them are fucking like illegal. It's just like showing like what the people are doing, which like say I'm not against. I like burnouts and shit like that. Like I've been doing that stuff my whole life, but it's just like we're just gonna like feed you like here's a guy doing a burnout, like But the thing is, like some of them are like fuck ups. Like it's like some of them, some of them, it's like, okay, here's a car doing a burnout, like, oh, and then he loses it, and
loses control,
and like hops over a curb and like smashes into another car, and like, but like some of them are not, and it's like they all like start out the same way, and some are just like, check out this sick ass move, and the other ones are just like, check out this guy, and some are just like, check out this guy like eating shit.
Yeah,
but it's like it's funny because like I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. Like keep watching and see if like this is like a sick move or like he fucks up big time. But it's like they all start out the same way, but they end like very different.
Yeah, it takes one of two, either the hero or like the worst human alive.
And it's just like purely promoting the idea to like keep people doing it. Like if you like, it's like if you like pull off this like rolling burnout, like down the whole street.
Either way,
we'll promote our algorithm. Will promote you. Like you will be
entertainment
seen, like,
value is the same. Doesn't matter if you fucking
like,
pull it off
if you
or
like
crash.
Yeah, it's like if you like grab your wheel and end up in a ditch, like you will also promote.
Just think about the clicks. Yeah,
we really want you to go out there and do some fucking.
It's just like goddamn, like that's the state of car culture today.
Those sideshow things are a product of social media.
Exactly.
It's not like, boy, we just never thought to do that before. It's like, no, the only reason it's happening is
to post it online.
You're not only performing in front of people, but you think that you're performing in front of millions potentially. And so it's just like the ultimate kind of drug for that kind of stuff. Like the version in our kind of youth was street racing, and it was like, don't fucking tell anybody where we are.
Yeah, like dude, like you need to know like Tommy if you even want to like know where the spot is going to be.
It's like they'd record it, but like it really wasn't like cool to spread. And I mean, it is that same bug, just taken even further. You know, it's like,
and I think it's. I don't think it's kind of like understated, like how big of an effect that's had on like the supply of cars. At least here, I don't know if they do that in like the Midwest or Texas or Florida, but it's very much like a California, like LA, Bay Area, the Central Valley.
The sideshow things,
we're just like people just like beat you can't really be much harder on a car than what those people do to those things.
Yeah. Well, didn't you see? You saw an ad for like a Corvette or something. It specifically said in the ad, "This is not a sideshow vehicle."
It's become so ubiquitous, here on the West Coast. So like any car that's like fairly inexpensive with a V8 is like you can tell. Like sometimes, like I think we've talked about it before. Like in the ads, they will have pictures of like their car at a sideshow. Like look what it can do. Like look what I've done with it.
It's a famous vehicle. It's a celebrity.
Here's a little taste.
And so now you're getting like car where people have to like clarify in their ad, like this is not a sideshow car. Yeah, it's just it's just a sad state. It is what it is.
It's like been pretty interesting to see the car kind of hobby stay the same and change. And, I don't know. I'm still enjoying it. This is definitely the longest I've ever kept a hobby.
I'm just out here. I'm just out here living, doing my thing.
Yeah, I got my cars.
I'm in my lane.
It annoys me, but it's like I was still able to buy the cars I wanted. So
I feel like the vet like reinvigorated your passion for cars. It's like it's like you were going. You were like a 60-year-old man, and then you got like now you got a Viagra prescription and ready to go hard again.
I just
rediscovered the spark.
The M5 was just like, it was such a different kind of enthusiast car that it did kind of. It just wasn't like a ratty, fast, car. And so it is like, it's like, ooh, I get to have like this again. Because a lot of the stuff before that's the kind of stuff I owned. It has. I love that thing. I'm about to go work on it right now.
I just realized that when I do get rid of the SRT Jeep, I'm not going to own a V8 anymore. That's going to be a sad day. We have all four bangers. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I might have to retire
10 liters in my garage.
I know.
I mean, frankly, like, how are you going to be into cars and not have a V8?
I don't know.
In America,
pathetic. Exactly.
Pretty clear line.
Only 12 cylinders between 3 cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was good. This seems like it worked. You can let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know.
Little teaser for the next episode. I'll tell you guys how I found and bought an original owner S13 240SX. So
and ruined some guy's day on Reddit.
That's true. Yeah. So you can look forward to that in the next episode.
All of that and more on the next Car Bros. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See ya.